A cup of tea and a big dream. Raman lived in a busy city, but his life was simple. He was a tea seller. Every day he stood beside a small roadside stall near an office building and sold hot tea to workers, drivers, and students. Many people passed him without noticing, but Raman noticed everyone. He noticed who looked tired. He noticed who smiled. He noticed who needed someone to talk to. Raman woke up at 4:45 a.m. every morning. The sky was still dark when he stepped out of his small rented room. He washed his face with cold water and prepared the milk, tea leaves, sugar, and spices. Making tea was not just work for him, it was art. He carefully boiled the water, added crushed ginger and cardamom, then mixed milk and tea leaves. The smell of fresh tea filled the air. By 6 a.m., his stall was ready. The first customer was usually Mr. Sen, an office manager. "1 cup, less sugar," Mr. Sen would say. Raman always remembered his preferences. "Here you go, sir," Raman said with a smile. "How do you remember everything?" Mr. Sen once asked. Raman laughed softly. "When you care about people, you remember small things." Around 8 a.m., the area became crowded. Rickshaw drivers, construction workers, and office employees gathered around the stall. Raman worked quickly but calmly. 2 teas, 3 without sugar, 1 extra strong. He never got angry. Even during rush hours, he stayed patient. One rainy morning, a young boy stood near the stall. His clothes were wet, and he looked hungry. He watched others drinking tea and eating biscuits. Raman noticed him. "Do you want tea?" Raman asked gently. The boy looked down. "I don't have money." Raman poured a cup anyway and handed him 2 biscuits. "Drink, it's cold," he said. The boy's eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you, uncle." That small act of kindness warmed Raman's heart more than the tea warmed his hands. At noon, when business slowed down, Raman often opened a small English book. He had studied only until class 8. Financial problems forced him to leave school early. But he never stopped learning. Every day he learned 1 new English sentence. Today's sentence was, "Dreams do not work unless you do." He repeated it quietly. Raman had a dream. He wanted to open a small cafe one day. A clean, comfortable place where people could sit, read books, and drink tea peacefully. But for now, he had his little stall. One afternoon, a regular customer named Nabila stopped by. She was a university student. "Uncle, why are you reading English?" she asked curiously. Raman smiled. "I want to improve. Maybe one day I will need it." "For what?" she asked. "For my cafe," he replied confidently. Nabila was surprised. She had never thought of Raman as a dreamer, but that day she saw something different: ambition. From then on, she started helping him. Sometimes she corrected his pronunciation. Sometimes she brought old magazines for him to read. Raman was grateful. Evening was the busiest time. Office workers returned home and stopped for tea to relax. Some complained about their bosses. Some talked about politics. Some just stood quietly, enjoying the warm cup. Raman listened carefully. He understood that sometimes people do not need advice, they just need someone to hear them. One day, a businessman accidentally left his wallet at the stall. It was full of money and important cards. Raman found it while cleaning. He could have kept it, no one would know, but his conscience was stronger than temptation. The next morning, when the businessman returned looking worried, Raman handed him the wallet. "You left this yesterday," he said calmly. The businessman checked it. Everything was there. "You could have taken the money," he said in surprise. Raman replied simply, "Money can buy many things, but not respect." The businessman was impressed. He became a regular customer and often encouraged Raman. Months passed. Raman continued saving a small amount of money every day. He wrote his daily income and expenses in a notebook. Life was not easy. Sometimes he fell sick. Sometimes business was slow. Sometimes heavy rain destroyed his stall. But he never gave up. One winter evening, something unexpected happened. The businessman who had lost his wallet months ago came to Rahman with an offer. "I am opening a small cafe nearby," he said. "I need someone honest and hardworking to manage it. Would you like to work there?" Rahman was speechless. "But I've never managed a cafe," he said nervously. "You have managed this stall with discipline and honesty for years. That is enough," the businessman replied. Rahman's heart beat fast. His dream was slowly becoming real. He discussed it with his wife that night. "Are you ready for bigger responsibility?" she asked. Rahman nodded. "I am afraid, but I am also ready." A few weeks later, Rahman stood inside a small but beautiful cafe. Clean tables, soft lights, a bookshelf in the corner. He was no longer just a roadside tea seller, but he did not forget his roots. He still woke up early, he still treated customers with kindness, he still remembered their preferences, and he still studied English every night. One day, the same little boy who once drank free tea entered the cafe. He was cleaner and healthier now. "Uncle," the boy said happily, "you have a shop now." Rahman smiled. "Yes, and you are always welcome here." He gave the boy a cup of tea again, this time inside his own cafe. That night, after closing the cafe, Rahman stood quietly and looked around. The chairs were empty, the lights were dim. He whispered to himself, "It started with a small stall and a big dream." Rahman understood something important. Daily life may look ordinary. Waking up early, working hard, serving tea, it may seem small. But when you mix honesty, patience, and dreams with daily work, something powerful happens. An ordinary day becomes the foundation of an extraordinary future. And sometimes, all it takes to begin is a simple cup of tea.